What's going on, guys? Car review guys here. My name is AJ, and this week we have the 2024 Mercedes-Benz EQE, and this is the 4MATIC. There are 4 different options to choose from. You have the 350 Plus, and then you can go up to this one, which is the 4MATIC. We're going to go through some of those differences on the different trims. If you are new to my channel, we get a new press car every single week, and we have some of our own cars as well. 2017 Acura NSX, among some Camaros and other things. Just depends, as I change cars pretty frequently. Nonetheless, we are going to start with a cinematic, usually 60 seconds or less. Then we are going to go to the exterior, talk stats, figures, stuff I feel like you guys would want to know. Then jump to the interior, then take it on a drive. So if you want to skip through different parts, feel free, totally up to you. And next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. So without further ado, let's roll. Starting with some of these stats and figures, this EQE 4MATIC has a 90.6 kilowatt hour battery capacity, which has around 288 horsepower and 564 pound-feet of torque. Rear wheel drive is on the 350 Plus. On this one, it is all-wheel drive, which is aka the 4MATIC portion. Curb weight is 5,201 pounds, roughly, which is going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. Now, if you had just the rear-wheel drive variant, it is right around 6.2, so getting the 4MATIC, you're about 0.2 seconds faster. If you go up to the 500, you are going to be looking at 0 to 60 in around 4.5, and if you go to the AMG, you're at about 3.2, so you can definitely get any performance needs you would want as far as quickness. Now back to this one, MPGe, you are looking at 86 city, 96 highway, and a combined average of 90 MPGe. Charge times are probably pretty important. Level 2, 210 volt, 10 to 100%, 9.5 hours. And then on a 170 kilowatt DC fast charger, 10 to 80% in as little as 32 minutes. Touching on vehicle dimensions, overall length 16.4 feet, width is around 5.4 feet, and your ground clearance is 5 inches. Pricing starts at $74,900 on the base 350 Plus rear-wheel drive. Tester today is $97,615, including the destination charge. While we are here in the rear, just taking a look, I think it's a nice, clean looking finish. I do like that it has a little bit of a diffuser down here. It gives it some character. Now, you just press in on the top of the emblem and up the trunk will go. Back here, it has some space. Sorry for the lighting. I'm sure it's pretty tough. I've got my drone sitting over here in the corner. And then you can see charging cable is here. I will put on the screen the actual cubic feet. Looking up where you would close the trunk, you can also lay the seats down with buttons located right there, but just press that and down it goes. Some things you may or may not notice on this vehicle very quickly. It does have 360 camera. You can see one of them there. Obviously the other mirror, the front, and then there's obviously one in the rear, which is actually the Mercedes-Benz emblem. It just pops out. And then if you press there, you can see this is your window washer fluid fill. So kind of unique. And if we take a look at the tires, probably something you want to know, 255 40 20s. There's different, obviously, options for tires on the builder, so feel free to go to their website to build it. There are so many options on this vehicle that we would be here all day if I were to list them all. This vehicle, also optional, has the digital light package. Hopefully you can see the label right there. Definitely pretty neat. It can literally, like, if you at night start to like cross a lane or something, it'll project out onto the road, almost kind of like a little triangle type deal. And that way you have a visual, literal thing out on the road that you can see. Just another way to help with safety. Also, it has some logos, like whenever you start it up or turn it off, it'll like project literally out onto the road, and it'll say like Mercedes-Benz out on the road. I've done some shorts on those, so if you want to see those, feel free to go to my channel and you can see what that looks like. Definitely a neat feature, and they are super bright at night. Moving on around, I just wanted to point out two more things on the exterior. One, all four doors do have keyless entry. You can see it right there. Come over here, you can see it there. They are flush mounted. Once you either one, approach the vehicle, or two, press the handle, they will pop out. So if I were to come over here, press, you can see they pop out. Mercedes-Benz right there. And just pointing out that the charger is located here on the passenger side. Okay, I am going to be testing getting in the rear now. I am 5'9" if you are new to my channel. I test every single vehicle. So let's see here. Definitely have to duck a little bit just because of the slope of the roof, which is pretty common for most sedans. Nothing crazy. Now that we're back here, let's see, let's shut this. Okay, so we are in headspace. It's definitely tight being, I'm again 5'9", like I'm literally touching up here, and this is the sunshade, so it's a pano roof. You can see that there's a bar in the middle up there, and here you can see. So it is tight sitting right up and straight. Now, leg space, there's a ton of space. There's probably a good 8 inches there, I would say. So if I were to kind of like move down, now I've got some more headspace, but this seat is just very, very upright. Like, I don't know if you can tell or not, but very much so, like a lot of bend at the hips, kind of the position you're in. Now, this also has the option for the winter package, which does have rear heated seats along with obviously front. See all the ambient lighting, which looks good. Even in the daytime, you can change it to a bunch of different colors. And even in the rear, you can see it all the way around there. If I can get my camera to not have sun glare. I love the finishes Mercedes-Benz does. You have the Burmeister bezels, which is upgraded sound, and it does look quite nice. All of this is nice, like an aluminum finish. No wiggle, no jiggle to the switches, and that looks good as well. I believe this interior is like a space gray, if I remember correctly. It has some red stitching. Looks good. There's like between 12 to 16 different options for interiors and color combos. So again, go on the website builder. You can build any combination you pretty much want. Last thing to point out, in the rear, you have 2 vents right down here, and then you can pull this down, press on that. Oops, it's like a half click. There we go. And then you've got 2 cup holders right there and an armrest. Moving on to the front. So stepping on in, not high at all to step into, very easy to just fall right in. I don't see any issues getting in the front for sure. The back, again, you wouldn't want to be super tall just because of the headspace. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of like hurting your back, like in a slouching, which is what it is. But it's got plenty of leg space for sure back there. So from a wheelbase perspective, no issues. Front, super easy to get into. Just taking a look at the ambient lighting, again, it goes all the way around, and then out in front of us, we do have heads-up display. Hopefully you can see that, and it is quite large. Very, very easy to see. Digital instrument cluster in front of us. There is an option for a 3D instrument cluster, which is pretty neat, hard to explain and hard to show on camera, but it is definitely unique once you see one yourself. Over here, we have a nice big center screen. My tester today does not have the massaging or ventilated seats. Those are both optional, which you would definitely access here through the center screen. Generally, it's located under comfort. You do have seat kinetics where like move the bolsters and stuff, but that is not the massaging seats. Ambient lighting is accessed right there. You can do multicolor, all these different combos, and you can see that they'll change even in broad daylight. Like, they are quite bright, and it looks really cool at night. I've done some shorts as well. And then obviously you can drag it through whatever you want. 64 different options that you can choose from. Moving on down, let's hit this camera button located right there. And here is what the camera looks like. Please keep in mind, camera through camera, it doesn't always necessarily look the best, but you can literally drag to wherever you want. You can see all the way around your vehicle. Definitely, in my opinion, a leader in the industry for 360 cameras, no doubt. Also, whenever you're dragging, you can just click different ones. So if I hit the left side, you can watch out for curbs and stuff like that. Going through a drive-through, whatever. It is a nice little feature. Tester today on the climate here, you can see it does have, oops, I pressed the wrong thing. That's on me. Air quality. So it's going to tell you your exterior, your interior. So it's got the extra energizing air control plus. You can also get the one where it has a fragrance. This one does not have the fragrance, but that is also optional as well. I don't think there's too much more to talk about other than, let's do this very quickly. So if we scroll over and we hit the navigation, you can have navigation here, right, which you can see quite well. You can also hit 3D versus 2D, whatever you want. Let's see, leave it on that. Now, if we come over here, you can hit this OK button. And right now, hold on, let me hit home. There we go. Scroll over, navigation, and now you can have navigation there. And it'll also project your directions out on the heads-up display. And if you go up to the EQE 500, you can have the passenger screen as well. I've had some other vehicles with the passenger screen. It's definitely neat. And like if someone's sitting over here in the passenger seat, obviously, they can go there, type in stuff, send it to here, and send it out on your heads-up display. It is really a neat feature and how it is all integrated. This button that is the car, it is like a quick access menu, if you will. So you can see you have heads-up display, active lane steering assist, auto lane change, you have a car wash mode, snow chains. I don't know who's putting snow chains on this. I would love to see a video of that. That would be quite interesting. And maybe it's out there and I haven't seen it, but that would definitely be unique. I don't think there's too much more to discuss really in here. I mean, just taking a look, I guess, at the apps, you've got some Shuffle Puck, Quiz, Sudoku, some different stuff. You can browse, whatever. But all of that stuff is really nice when there's a passenger screen, just because the passenger is going to be the main one doing it. I guess if you're charging your vehicle, you can sit there and play with stuff, but depends on you. It is nice. Located way back in there, you can see there's probably some lighting. That is the wireless charger. You have two cup holders located here, which you can push and lock out of the way, or you push down on the center and it automatically comes out. See a little key emblem. You can set your key fob there if you would like. 2 USB-Cs. Press this button here. That is actually pretty deep. You could probably fit 2 to 3 tissue boxes in there, so good size center console. I think that's just about everything on the interior, honestly. So I think it's about time we get this out on the road and see how it performs. Before we get it out on the road, I do just want to mention this vehicle also has optional the Air-matic. So it has an air suspension, which is optional. So it's going to ride different if you don't get that option. So I can only speak to it having that option as far as ride quality goes. And so far, little sneak peek, it's been really, really good. So let's roll on to the drive. As we get this EQE 350 out on the road, first thing that I noticed was whenever I was pulling out of my street, in Arizona we have these pretty big like rain gutters, if you will, that are like in the road. And with the air suspension, or Air-matic as they call it, it rode over it like a dream. Like, it was really smooth and it was really quiet, which is really good, obviously, on a Mercedes-Benz. But then you take it to an EV, which is even harder to make things quiet, just because there's literally no other sound, like even slightly in the background, to kind of deaden things out. So very impressed as far as right out of the gate as far as that goes. Now, I've spent some time with it this week.
How can I help?
If you say Mercedes, it's the assistant. Stop. Cancel. You can turn that off, but it's like an assistant. Nonetheless, we will not say the brand anymore, so that way it's not trying to talk to us, and I don't feel like going in and trying to turn it off. So with that said, spending some time with it this week, it has been really, really good. Pleasantly surprised, honestly, because again, EVs are just that much harder to get quiet. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, I've had the EQE before, different model year, some different trims, stuff like that. And they have always impressed me. I just don't remember the suspension being as good as this one. So I'd have to go back and watch my other videos and look at the stickers. I don't know if those had the 4MATIC suspension. And that may be the difference as to how smooth this thing really is. So may very, very well be worth the price in the upgrade, because it is that smooth. It is really impressive. If you're new to my channel, I've got 3 different categories for noise, which are tire noise, powertrain noise, and wind noise. The only noise I can remotely hear in this, honestly, is tire noise. That's it. And even then, it's not crazy. Like, you can hear a little bit, but it, again, very, very maintained, way more than acceptable, and well above average, in my opinion. Let's step on the pedal just a little bit, rolling at, hold on, let's go down to 35 and let's get to 45. Let's see how it does just from a roll, and press it. That's the thing with EVs, like even if like 0 to 60 says 6 seconds, right? The torque is where the EV is just crazy. It just, and that's why, like, you see the 0 to 60 is only 6 seconds, but the foot-pound of torque seems really high for a 6-second car. That would be why. It's the instant torque. There is absolutely no lag. If you've never been in an EV, definitely go try one out so you can feel the difference. Definitely unique. Coming up to the cattle guard, we do it every week. We try to. So let's test suspension over this baby and noise. Here we go. Yeah, like, see, that's wild. Like, I hardly move at all, and that's crazy. Some vehicles, like, I move a lot, so that's really good. Noise, again, the only noise I can hear is really the tires once again, and oh, even over that I can hear the tires just a little bit. Definitely above average for most vehicles, so, which again I expect in this brand, and they're delivering, so that's good. Let's test out the lane centering. We can set this baby, let's see, speed limit's 50 miles an hour, so let's set that there, set, and it is active. Now, I've used it this week, obviously, and it does. It stays dead center of the lane, and Mercedes-Benz, don't say it. The brand has really stepped up over the last, call it 4 years maybe, at how refined their active steering assist is. I call it lane centering, same thing. It does quite well at staying dead center of the lane. Obviously, keep your hands on the wheel, but if you need to get a drink of water or whatever, good safety feature to have. Adaptive cruise control also works really good. Very, I'll call it like as though you're the one controlling it. Very normal as far as acceleration, slowing down, stuff like that. And you can, of course, set it to different distances to the vehicle, just like any other lane centering in any other brand, but it does do quite well. The only improvement for me still would be, like some of the other brands that are starting to do it, is have the lane centering without setting your cruise control. That would be nice, but we don't quite have that just yet on this vehicle. All right, let's test the suspension just a little bit. Let's take this turn at 20 miles an hour, 20. Seats pretty much don't have bolsters. I mean, they do, but they're obviously not big at all. It's supposed to be a normal sedan, so you can probably see me. I moved just a little bit, but as far as the actual body control of the car, felt pretty good for a sedan. Again, this thing is not light, but keep in mind it's because of the batteries being underneath the vehicle. You definitely have a lower center of gravity, which also helps for whenever you're trying to make turns and stuff like that. Just be careful. Don't get stupid in an EV, because they will try to kind of slide out on you because of the excessive weight. There's nothing we can do about that right now. Maybe one day we make lighter batteries. I don't know. But definitely very good as far as suspension goes. I'm plenty happy with that. The only thing I wanted to note was the battery range, actually. So when I got this vehicle, it was 96% charged, and it has been 105 to 108 degrees this week in October in the Phoenix area, which is seasonably high. So we have the AC running, we've been driving it, all that stuff. It was showing at 96% charge, 310 or 12 miles, and it's only rated at really like 298. So it was actually above, and these are pretty extreme conditions for an EV. So I would have expected it to be even lower, and it was not. And it stayed pretty even. Like, I'm down to 270 now, and I'm at 83% charge. So, I mean, you can do the math from 83% to 96, and I'm not a mathematician. I have a 4-year degree, hated math. We're not gonna go down that road. If you want to, feel free. That's the real world test. Numbers, so if you want to do the math, feel free. But I feel like it's definitely not just like dropped. There's been some other EVs that I've had, and they just kind of fall off of the face of the earth as far as percentage goes, especially in extreme conditions. And that's a little bit excessive. It doesn't, those vehicles have not fallen off, but they will jump from like 86 to like 83, and that's without like a heavy acceleration. All right, we have a little bit of an S-turn here. Let's come into it and do it just a little bit. Again, I can feel the weight of the vehicle, but it's staying nice and planted, accelerating, and then we're on the brakes. Brakes have a little bit of a lag. Definitely want to get on those a little bit earlier, and then coming around out of the, yeah, it's pretty good, especially for what this vehicle is. I'm happy with it. It's nothing crazy. It doesn't blow my mind, but it's good enough. Let's check our blind spots really quick. Over to the left, pillar's a little bit thick, but you can definitely see no issues. Checking over to our right, not much of one, maybe in the very back, like the back pillar, but it's nothing crazy. But there is, of course, blind spot monitoring if you need it. Personally, if I was optioning this vehicle, there's no way that I skimp out and don't pay, I forget the exact price, but around $1,100 for cooled seats and massaging seats. If you've ever used them, you will know they're actually really, really nice. They are not gimmicky. It's not just lumbar moving. It is a legit massaging seat in this brand. It will literally knead your back and everything, and it is really, really nice. So me personally, if I'm optioning it, that's definitely what I'm getting. So just some advice, if you're looking to option one, I would definitely get that if I were you. But past that, everything else I think is really up to you. There's like a ton of interior color options and combinations that you can choose from. We'd be here literally all day if I were to kind of show you those. So go on the builder. That'll be what you would like to build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Next video, 5 things to love, 5 things to improve, and new press vehicle next week. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.